Thank you very much for joining our webinar today. We will be talking about streamlining your data and backup processes using and optimizing with Backblaze and Jellyfish. I'm Dave McKean. I am the GM of Powered by Backblaze. I also manage partnerships and alliances for Backblaze.
I'm John Hogue, Director of Marketing Communications here at OWC.
I'm Luc Marchand. I'm the CTO of Enterprise Storage at Otherworld Computing, and I'm responsible for building the Jellyfish product line.
What we're going to go over today is we're going to do a solution overview, and we're going to be starting with Backblaze, followed by how Backblaze and OWC works together. Then John will run us through a pretty comprehensive demo, followed by a customer chat, jointly what we've done with Yacht Club, one of our joint customers. For those of you who do know Backblaze, our mission is to make storing, protecting, and using data astonishingly easy. That's what we've been doing for a number of years, and that's what we continue to do. We were founded in 2007. We're a public company as of 2021. We have over 500,000 customers worldwide with over 3,000 petabytes of data. When we look at Backblaze and different types of organizations and people that use it, generally everyone is looking towards the cloud, and they have different reasons as to why they're looking at cloud storage. But when they do choose Backblaze, we provide 3x of egress, so they never have to worry about moving data in and out of Backblaze. We're always active, meaning that we're always hot storage, and we have phenomenal performance. While we might be a lower cost storage, that in no way is an impairment on the performance of our storage. One of the things that I've worked really hard, as well as many of the other team members within Backblaze, along with our partners, is to build out seamless workflows and partnerships with companies like OWC and Jellyfish. Through this process and listening to our customers and listening to the partners we work with has generated specific M&E features, such as live read, event notifications, and live read providing the ability of editing video files as they're being uploaded into storage. And we are one of the few that can actually make this happen in object storage in the cloud. We also provide cloud APIs. So if you want to do further optimization of your media workflows, you can tie into our API toolkit, and we provide pretty fantastic support. One of the workflows that we've created over the last year and a half is cloud replication. So we have data centers in US West, US East, as well as in Europe. There is no egress when you're moving data in between each one of these data centers. And the only thing that we provide for our end users is that capability of having data in those facilities where they would pay for that data, but there's no egress in moving that data from one point to the other. So it makes it very cost effective. If they need to serve up that data in a specific region, well, they can move it to that region. This bypassing the latency that they would have in accessing that data. We do provide many different feature sets that make this a very safe and secure and reliable way in terms of how you wish to manage your data around the world. Universal data migration has been a huge hit for Backblaze. For those organizations that are trapped on a hyperscaler and they're in one of the big three, and they're trying to figure out how they can move their data off to Backblaze where it's more affordable, they still have very good performance, and they wish to work and utilize that data, but they're not sure how to move that data off the hyperscalers. Universal data migration will migrate that data off any of those cloud-based solutions to our services at no cost to that user. Looking at a relationship with OWC and Jellyfish, what do customers need? Well, they're looking towards us as two vendors saying, hey, we need real solutions. That's why we've teamed up. How can we combine these two and make a very powerful solution together? So making it scalable, providing the ability to utilize and monetize that data, as well as collaborate up in the cloud. What we're going to be showing is scaling storage, how we're going to protect that data. And really, at the end of the day, you want to be able to work with that data and be able to collaborate very easily with it. I'm going to turn this over to Luke, and he's going to describe a little bit more about the Jellyfish.
Amazing. Thank you, Dave. Thank you so much. All right, let's talk a little bit about Jellyfish. Jellyfish is a network-attached storage device, and it's built primarily for media and entertainment teams. We do as much as we possibly can for those teams to eliminate as much complexity as we can and to save time. Everybody who works with us at Jellyfish comes from a creative or video editor background. So we build these things for those people. We know the industry, we know how that works. One of the things we do that eliminates complexity and saves time is we have a really user-friendly interface and user-friendly workflow. We support direct attached to our Jellyfish servers. This means that you don't need an IT team to set up your Jellyfish. You just need to connect a cable to the back, open up some of our software, and you're ready to go and start editing. We have a lot of data integrity built into our systems. We always try and find the best cutover between data redundancy, and also having performance. We make sure that that's always at the forefront of what we're doing. High performance is something that we pride ourselves on always. Everything we do about Jellyfish is to be in the high performance category. We can work with teams that are 50 plus editors. We have servers that can connect up to 100 gigabit Ethernet and bond those connections to even further capacity if needs be. And we also have hybrid and all flash systems, taking us up to the next tier of high performance by creating ultra low latency on our network attached servers. We also have a really big ecosystem, Jellyfish. We spend a lot of time integrating with partners. We have our own software, Jellyfish Connect, which allows you to configure your computer connected to a Jellyfish automatically by clicking a couple of buttons, and to manage unlimited users connected to your system. We have a system called Media Engine. Media Engine does a lot of transcoding and creates proxy footage, as well as a bunch of unique third-party integrations. We spend a lot of time combing through integrations to make it easy for people to connect to our systems. Take you through some of the servers that we have in our lineup. We start right from something very small, and we can go up to massive systems that go upwards of 3 to 4 petabytes of storage. So we have the Jellyfish Nomad. Jellyfish Nomad is our smallest, but one of our most high performing systems. It is capable of 6,000 megabytes a second, 6 10 gigabit Ethernet connected to it. And it's designed to really be taken around into the desert, into the forest, on a plane, trains, wherever you need to go. You set it down, connect 6 computers, and go ahead and edit. Studio is something that's a little bit bigger. It's designed to be in your office. We connect up to 14 to 18 people, all working collaboratively. Jellyfish Tower, slightly bigger system, more performance. You can connect up to 20 people directly connected, or up to 50 people over a switched environment. It's got a lot of disks in it, so it gives you much more storage. And then we've got the bigger systems, R24, B24, and R24 is our flagship system. We actually have 24 drives in there, and it's highly performant. The Jellyfish XT is our ultra performing system for if you have 100 plus people in your network. And this is standard with flash storage and dual 100 gigabit Ethernets that get bonded. You can also add a bunch of expansions to any one of our systems in the rack mounted category. You can take the XT's max capacity up to over 3 petabytes, upwards of 4 petabytes of storage, and the R24 as well. We effortlessly scale, protect, and collaborate with the seamless storage solutions. And that's one of the reasons why we work with Backblaze so much. Dave mentioned that highly performant is something that and Jellyfish is the same. And so we find that our collaboration together just works really well. All Jellyfish, doesn't matter if you buy a smaller one or if you buy the biggest one, has the Jellyfish Backblaze integration built into it. It allows you to back up and share your data, synchronize it to Backblaze. You can select your folders that you want, specify whatever you need to be, as many buckets as you want. It really helps to displace teams. Getting that data into Backblaze and being able to pull those buckets down and move them around, not only for backups and peace of mind, but also just to move data in and out of the cloud effectively. So I'm going to hand over to John now and take us through the next piece.
So the first thing we're going to do is open up Jellyfish Connect, which is in our browser bar. It's going to pop open our Jellyfish Manager, and we're going to enter our password for our Jellyfish Tower. If we scroll over to integrations, we'll see an option for cloud services, which we'll click on. We'll select Backblaze. Now we have to go create a bucket. We're going to name that bucket Jellyfish Tower in this case. Create bucket. There's our bucket. Now we have to connect this bucket back to the Jellyfish Tower. We're going to go to Application Keys and add a new application key. Once we click that, we're going to enter the name of the key that we created before, Jellyfish Tower. There's a few selections here. Create a new key. And just like that, success. We have a new application key created. We're going to copy and paste the key ID back into our Jellyfish Tower. And we're going to copy our application key into the Jellyfish Tower. Confirm the choice. There, Backblaze was successfully authenticated. There is capability to create new buckets and see all of your buckets using a master key. The application key can be set up to be bucket specific, thereby limiting the system to one bucket. It all depends on your particular workflow and needs. Now we're going to go to the Jellyfish Tower and enable it. And now we have some settings for how we want the backup to work. We can keep all versions of the file in this case. We're going to find the directory that we want to back up. In this case, we're going to back up the day_001 folder. Check to confirm. We'll set the time that we want this backup to occur, 1 a.m., and the days that we want that backup to occur. In our case, it's going to be 7 days. Every day at 1 a.m., we're going to go ahead and back up our folder to Backblaze. We're going to sync the folders. And there it is. The backup's going to start happening right away. And if you scroll over to System Alerts, you'll see that the Backblaze bucket named Jellyfish Tower is currently backing up.
I am going to chat briefly here with Zach Law from Yacht Club. Zach, I'll give you a second to introduce yourself and what Yacht Club does.
My name's Zach. I'm one of the founders of Yacht Club, and I'm our head of post-production. Yacht Club is a commercial production company based in New York, and we really focus on product. Any ways that we can tell story based around product, whether that's live action, CGI, VFX, really any way to tackle that problem.
One thing that we can talk about here, Zach, with you is what the Jellyfish does for you and how you connect it to Backblaze, because the Jellyfish is an on-prem solution for your team. So maybe you can just fill us in there a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So we have a Jellyfish, we actually have two Jellyfishes, but we're currently using a tower in our studio for our post-production team. And essentially what we do is we'll take all of our footage from set, bring it back to our studio, load everything onto our Jellyfish tower, all the footage, all the assets, everything that we need. All of our team works off of that. Various edit stations work hardwired directly into the tower. And then our production team also all have access to it wirelessly in case they need to pull any files off around the office. And then similar to the demo that you just played, we have two buckets on Backblaze where we have our current projects that are, everything we're currently working on that's active. That gets backed up every single night, around 8 p.m., like once the day is over. And that's just constantly backing up so that we always have extra copies of what we're working on just in case anything happens with the server. And then we have a secondary bucket, which is our archive, which is every project, once it is finished and completed, we move it to a local archive for shorter term storage in case we need to pull anything off it within a couple months. And then we also automatically back everything up to Backblaze for our long-term storage solution.
Zach, can you talk to me a little bit about how automated backup can save you time and how it did save you time?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, before we started using this solution, we would essentially have to do that same process, but without Backblaze, everything was going onto a server. Then we were backing it up onto another local storage solution every day for our current projects. And then once everything was finished, we had various local archives that we had to back projects up to, and then keep account of which projects were on which archives, were on which hard drives. And that took an incredible amount of time and just brain power and just organization to make sure that everything was happening and also happening in an organized way. So it really took like two big headaches off of my plate to where everything happens automatically and it happens in the same organizational structure that we work with on our server. So it's a one-to-one comparison, which is great.
Yeah, so it sounds like it saves you time and it also removes the possibility for human error or something getting lost in translation.
Yeah, because I mean, I'll be the first to admit it that when I got busy before, I was not backing up our projects every day. I was not immediately backing up projects to hard drives if there wasn't available space and I had to, move things around, and it would sometimes backlog for a month, and then it would take me a couple of days to just sort that out. And now I, like you said, don't have to spend that time doing that. And also, more importantly, in my opinion, I don't have to spend the stress of worrying about it happening.
Right. Yeah, I think that's something that anybody in the creative spaces can certainly relate to, of not having the time and also saying, I'll do that. I'll get to that tomorrow. So it's really nice to be able to automate that. What have you been able to do sort of, and what's been the positive effect to your business with those, few hours a week that you've been able to save?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's just been so much that we've been able to do without having to think about this. I mean, I can't point to like an exact one-to-one thing of replacing the hours exactly with something else, but I know that I've had more time to, be learning, watching tutorials, learning new techniques, and being able to push the creative of our post-production capabilities farther than we were able to go before, because I now have the time and the brain power to be, continuing to learn, which is great. And then on top of that, just being involved more on the business side of the company, and not only, being bogged down by the day-to-day of the logistics of the post-production process.
Fantastic. That's awesome. So I think I'm going to hand this back to Dave. I really appreciate you joining us here today, Zach. And it's great to hear of your success story between Jellyfish and Backblaze.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Is there any sort of plan to be able to archive files off the Jellyfish and have them only stored in Backblaze, but still have the files folder structure remain on the Jellyfish?
I think what you're talking about is having like a deep archive. So moving your files off the Jellyfish into a cloud storage, perhaps doing kind of like a selective sync where the Jellyfish still understands that there's a folder structure and files behind it, but the files are not actually on the Jellyfish, only in Backblaze. I think that's kind of what you're getting at. It doesn't work that way right now. It is something that we can take a look at. Currently, it's designed to be a live sync, push it back, and when you want your files, you can bring them back selectively to a different place on the Jellyfish. It doesn't have to be to where you grab them. However, if you do disconnect the bucket from Jellyfish, we disconnect that backup, it will remain in the cloud in one form or another, just obviously won't stay in synchronization. And you could achieve that in a similar way by then just pulling those files down to a skeleton folder when you needed it. So I hope that answers your question.
If I was on set, or if I required, just additional space from my Nomad because I'm using my Nomad remotely, would it make sense to offset files to Backblaze, have them in archive?
Using Backblaze as an archive point and then clear your storage afterwards is great. It won't negatively affect deleting stuff in the Backblaze bucket. And if you do need those files back, it's fairly simple to retrieve them from the Jellyfish UI. Connect your bucket, choose the files you want, bring them back, whether it's on that Jellyfish or a different Jellyfish. So I think, that'd be a really effective way of doing that.
To the earlier question, that I guess that was the follow-up, is that they really want this all to be all-in-one solution.
And I can understand that, turnkey is a big deal, especially in the M&E industry. You kind of don't want to have too many moving pieces and moving parts. While we do have many different integration partners, if you can do it in one service, it makes sense.
For those who are not aware, between the relationship of Backblaze and Jellyfish, we've been working together for about 6 years, maybe even 7. This has been a long-standing relationship that we definitely worked through with a number of different organizations and partners. In terms of the integration, the work that we've done, it is rock solid. And again, any future works that we do, we work very collaboratively, and we will continue to do so and continue to strengthen, our integration.
The Nomad connecting over cellular 4G or 5G services for backup. So that's entirely possible, Mark. The Jellyfish Nomad has got Ethernet ports at the back of it. So if you have a 4G or 5G modem that can support that, you can definitely use that internet service to push your data up into the Backblaze cloud. I'd be aware of caps, limitations on the speed in which the area you're in, depending on how fast you can get, and also how much data you can push over there without incurring significant costs. But if you have an open service and you've got good connection, that's definitely possible, and 5G would be a great alternative.
But that is the whole concept behind the Nomad, is that you do wish to be remote, be able to have, be able to load it up with the files, and then from wherever you are, correct, Luke, just be able to upload those files. Yeah.
Anyway, whatever connection you can get, 4G, 5G, VSATs, whatever it is, you should be able to use that.
I would like to thank presenters John and Luke for running through the solution. And Zach, definitely wish to thank you for providing us the important details on your use case. And we hope to be working with all of you very, very soon.